Hello, learners. How are you all? So, today we are going to start chapter number 5 Primary Activities, Unit 3rd. And this is the Geography Book A. So, here, students, here we will talk about the primary activities. So, primary activities. In this activity, students, first of all, will talk here about the economic activities, and these economic activities are like human activities which generate income. When we earn money, earn income, are known as economic activities. So here, economic activities are broadly grouped into different section. Like first is primary activity, secondary activity, tertiary, and quaternary. So these all quaternary activities will study later on. But here in this book, student, firstly we will talk about the primary activity, then secondary, and then the third is tertiary. So primary activities are directly dependent on environment. When people depends on environment, it include hunting and gathering, pastoral activities, fishing, forestry, agriculture, and mining. First, hunting and gathering. So, students, it depends on their immediate environment, right? So the earliest human beings depends on their immediate environment for their sustenance. They subsisted on animals which they hunted. The edible plants and fruits they which they gather from forest, right? So it depends on animals they hunted and edible plant which they gathered. So primary societies depends on hunting and gathering, fishing. Oldest occupation practiced in harsh climate condition, right? So it depends on animals or food, for food, shelter, clothing. Small capitals also, and they had, that time, small capital and low level of technology. Practice in high altitude areas such as Eurasia, southern Chile, low altitude such as Amazon, Congo, Southeast Asian countries. And in modern market, some gathering is done such as leaves, bark, nuts, fabric, rubber, so gums and resin. So these are the students depends on the totally they were depends on the environment, right? So the oldest economic activity known as it is, and practice in regions with harsh climate condition, requires a small amount of capital investment. They don't require a large amount, operate at very low level of technology, and their yield per person is very low and no surplus is produced. So here in this hunting and gathering practice is already, I told you students, latitude zones, which I already given the example of Canada, northern Eurasia, southern Chile. Here mostly in this region you can see they practice and depends on doing the hunting and gathering practice. Low latitude zones such as Amazon basin, tropic Africa, southern northern Australia, and the interior part of South Asia, East Asia. In modern times, some gathering is market oriented. So here next is a student pastoralism. So what is pastoralism? When people living in different climatic condition, okay, and um herders depends on animals for food, transport, and shelter. They keep on moving from one place to another along with their animals. Each nomadics, like depending on the geographical factors and technological development, animal rearing is practiced either at the subsistence or the commercial level. So two types of animal rearing are here. One is pastoral nomadism. Second is commercial livestock rearing. So, as I told you, nomadic means the people, those who keep on moving from one place to another. right, along with their animals. And variety of animals are kept in different regions. In different regions like Sahara, Asiatic deserts, like you can see sheep, goat, and camel, Tibet yak, and in the Andes you can see Arctic regions, reindeer, right? Okay, so in the next slide, student, here we will talk about the pastoral nomadism, nomadic herding. So here, student, transhumance, you can see the seasonal migration of people with their animal in such a pastures, and the water is known as the transhumance. You can see in this picture as uh, the picture shows here, animals reared in areas of nomadic herding. So as I told you, in the tropical Africa, cattle are the most important livestock, right? In Sahara and Asiatic deserts, sheep, goats, and camels are reared. And in the mountainous area of Tibet and Andes, yaks and llamas are found. And in Arctic and sub Arctic areas, reindeer are the most important animals. So in the reason wise, you can see, students, which type of animals are rare. Areas of nomadic herding. So in this map, student, you can see it clearly. It shows the nomadic herding places, which is, you can see, in the area of Asia, some of the part of Asia, some of the part of Africa. Here and the southern part of Africa, you can see it is the part of shaded parts. You can see these are the places, areas of nomadic herding. Okay, now next is commercial livestock rearing. So the rearing of animals in an organized manner. The features of commercial livestock include, this is called commercial livestock rearing. So it is more organized, student, and capital intensive also. It practiced in permanent ranches, and rearing of animals in organized scientific manner, main emphasis in breeding, genetic improvement, disease control, and health care of animals. Fodder crops also very important. Fodder crops and grasses are cultivated to feed animals. So the commercial livestock rearing is practiced on permanent fields and are known as ranches. As I told you, ranches, student, practice in permanent ranches, and are divided into number of parcels which are fenced to regulate the grazing. So number of animals in ranch is kept according to the carrying capacity of the pastures, isn't it? So here, student, larger areas and divided into parcels, and animals are moved from one parcel to another. Number of animals are kept based on capacity of the pastures. So animals are sheep, sheep and cattle, goats, and horses, and products are some products also uh, produce, like meat, wool, hides, and skin. So it is practiced in New Zealand. You can see in the map, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, Uruguay, and USA. So some of the part you can see shaded with the red color, like here you can see in the this part Australia and Argentina, Uruguay, USA also you can see, students. So these are the areas of commercial livestock rearing. Now next is agriculture. So agriculture is practiced under multiple combinations of physical and social economic conditions, which is give rise to different types of agricultural system. And in especially in the world, you can see many more places are there where people are depends on the agriculture. Okay, so they are classified on the basis of method of farming, types of crops grown, livestock rearing. First is here if we talk about the types of agriculture, first is subsistence agriculture. So subsistence agriculture is also, you can see it is in two types. First is primitive subsistence agriculture, and second is intensive subsistence agriculture. Right? So, in primitive subsistence agriculture, students, it is also called shifting cultivation, and it is also called slash and burn agriculture, as you all studied in the previous, in the junior class, about this primitive subsistence agriculture. It is practiced by tribes in tropics, and land holdings are small, some small areas are holding for this type of agriculture. Do not use fertilizer on it, and they change the land frequently they used to change the land portion, and every after 5 years they come back again in the same place. Okay, so part wise, as I told you, slash and burn agriculture. So the part they use for agriculture, after some years they keep it left and then use another place to for agriculture, right? And after 5 years they come back again in the previous one field to do agriculture. Okay, so it is called also zooming in northeast India, and milpa in South America, and ladang in Malaysia. Okay, so this is primitive subsistence agriculture. As I told you, it is the most primitive form of agriculture, and after few years of cultivation, the soil fertility get exhausted, and then the farmer move to new land and repeat this process. It is also known as slash and burn cultivation. As I told you, simple tools are used here, and they do not use fertilizer here. So, primitive subsistence agriculture is mainly practiced in Africa, South Central America, and Southeast Asia. So, it is known as different names in different parts of the world. As I told you, swimming in northeastern states of India, milpa called in Central America and Mexico, and ladang is called in Indonesia and Malaysia. So, this part is very, very important, students. Next is intensive subsistence agriculture. So it is found in density populated areas, right? It is largely found in the densely populated region of monsoon area, Asia. Basically, there are two types of intensive subsistence agriculture. One is intensive subsistence agriculture dominated by wet paddy cultivation, and second is intensive subsistence agriculture dominated by crops other than paddy. Okay, so if we talk about intensive subsistence agriculture, it is found in densely populated areas, and there are two types: intensive subsistence agriculture dominated by wet paddy cultivation, and it is dominated by rice crop. Land holding are very, very small, and some of the family labor are used. Okay, and family labor are used in this type of agriculture, and very less use of machine. They don't use machines, and manual labor is used in this type of agriculture, and farmyard or manure is used, and yield per unit is high but per labor is low. Understood? So if intensive subsistence agriculture dominated by other crops, so here students, in this type of agriculture, in intensive subsistence agriculture, like depends on climate also. It depends on climate, soil, relief. Other crops are cultivated and mainly practice in Southeast Asia. Okay, like wheat, barley, soya bean is cultivated in this type of agriculture. Right, and in India especially, wheat is grown in a western part of Ganga plain, and irrigation is also used in this type of agriculture. Different way is there to use, the system of irrigation is also used. And Europeans introduced plantation agriculture. Next is commercial agriculture, students. In commercial agriculture, first one is agriculture plantation agriculture. So it is introduced by, especially by Europeans. And large estates of plantation are made for cultivation, and we require too much, high large capital investment in plantation agriculture. And scientific methods are used to increase production also, and different way and method used for this production. And single crop cultivation is important. Mostly single crop cultivation is done in plantation agriculture, and some of the mostly skilled managers and labor are employed in this type of agriculture. Important plantation crops are, student plantation crops are tea, coffee, cocoa, rubber, etc. So here you can see in this picture, as you can see here, rubber and banana also is the crop, plantation crop. So here only single crops you can see in the large areas, right? So student, this much only for this in this part. And in the next video we'll discuss about extensive commercial grain cultivation and dairy farming, Mediterranean agriculture, market gardening and horticulture. And then we have some more topics like factory farming, cooperative farming, collective farming, mining, methods of mining. Okay, so these all topics we'll discuss in the second part of this video. Thank you so much, student.